Don't you talk to me or my son ever again. Come here, buddy, don't listen to them. I know they were your pumpkins, but what are you going to do? They're gone now. Anyway, we have better things to be doing, like chopping this up. Stop it. All squared off, we need the tub. I don't know what's going on in there, but I can tell you it's been cooking for a long time now. Doesn't smell great. It's our ground paste made from sand, Mod Podge and polyfiller. Yet again resurrectable with a bit of PVA. Slap it on, we've got to cover this entire thing, the top and the sides. It is a bit fiddly covering the sides because it has a habit of falling off unannounced. Once dry, it's basically invincible. So step one of any pumpkin patch is a fence. You're not going to keep them in without one. To make that, we'll use balsa wood. First, we need to cut some strips for the fence boards. I have a tiny template here that I'll use to make some duplicates. For balsa wood as thin as this, you need to cut following the grain, otherwise it'll fall apart. We need plenty of those. Next, we need the fence posts, so we'll do the same again but with slightly thicker balsa wood. Then we insert the first one in the corner and proceed to build the fence, making sure not to mix up the posts and the boards. Patronising. Now, while I get on with this exciting task, you should know there's a Discord server with an invitation just for you. All kinds of peculiar antics in there. Oversized Gatling guns, clean unclean ones, orc dentists, space marine top hats, and hurricane-proof gunships. And that's not all, it's got one of them. Speaks for itself. Finishing the fence off, and then we need to construct a few heaped rows of mud, so we'll take some more of our ground paste and drag it out into as many rows as we can fit without blocking the gate. We'll have our pumpkins growing in these mounds. Big prime plumpkins, beautiful. A few more. Not the grandest harvest ever, but it'll do. We'll also install a well, an essential piece of kit for every industrial farmer, and seal it in place with even more ground paste. At this stage, we need to base coat everything, so we'll do the usual: black, then grey, then white, before using this technological marvel. I mean, that looks a bit knackered, but it should still work. Perfect. Dear God. We're aiming to make something that looks like soil and doesn't need to be painted. So, hopefully, if we blend some cocoa fibre until it's nice and fine, then we won't be far off. Please, please do not poke it. Tempting. That doesn't look bad. Now we add it to our mixing bowl, along with some PVA. No idea how much we'll need. Okay, yeah, more than that. There we go. Now we need to cover our earth mounds with this and then pray to Gork and Mork that when it dries it doesn't look terrible. This is quite fiddly, so we'll swap to the superior tool, the good old prod and poke. Up at the far end of the patch, I've left some space for where our extra large pumpkin would be had it not vacated the premises. So in its place, we'll leave a large empty hole. For this tale of thievery, we need some thieves. Ah, Pinky didn't deserve that. We need to start getting some colour involved so that we can plan the final components. We'll get all of the wood with a standard muted brown. Not that it'll be very noticeable when we're done. And then, for the ground, we need to keep the distinction between the raised planting mounds and everything else, so we'll use a darker brown for that. We'll use a light brown to dry brush the track. Where does that lead? Presumably to more of this cursed farm. Now we need a few dribbles of PVA, dotted at random everywhere except the path and the raised mounds, because it's time to sprinkle the grass. Under the fence, amongst the bodies, and around the well. Can't forget the pumpkins. Nor should we forget this cheeky fellow. Started life as a farmer and slowly turned to shamanism as a means to protect his crops. We'll paint all of his shadows purple before getting all of the base colours on him. He's a big fan of the retro green goblin aesthetic. We'll call him done there. I don't want to give him too much attention, even accounting for his troubled upbringing. As for the hole, it turns out this pumpkin wasn't stolen. A jackalope. Legendary horned rabbits. There aren't enough jackalope characters for my liking, and the greatest shame of all is there's about to be one less. I'm so sorry, but we just needed your weird, unnerving body. But fear not, my furry little friend, for we have a new head. An entirely appropriate and perfectly to scale head. An organic head. And precisely for that reason, we can't touch it yet. As soon as I start cutting that, we're on a rot timer. So quickly we'll paint this body. Again, purple shadows, and then your standard discarded furry creature brown, and then rabies brown to blend the two together. This is roughly where he's going to be placed, so from that perspective we need to Halloweenify the surrounding objects. I give up. That entails painting the rear face of everything, fences, pumpkins, ground, all of it, purple. We'll use a dry brush for this step with a heavy dose of trust the process, because this is a severely ugly stage. And no, I don't just mean this guy. Wow. For stage 2, we need to dry brush the face or lighter patches of everything light green. Now, looking at this guy, there are so many more steps we could take to make him look a bit better. We could give him a wash, a few more layers, some highlights, but why bother? He's essentially a middle child, a headless goblin. The only thing he deserves right now is glue. Super speed gore effects, and I mean super speed. You have about 1.5 seconds to work with glue before it starts becoming demonic. We'll mix some red paint with it and then plug that hole. Where did his head go? Your guess is as good as mine. Likely the same place this chap's rear end went. That's not to say they went together like one inside the other. I don't know actually. Anyway, now comes this dreaded part because we need to pin this to the base. Luckily, we have a strong and successful history of drilling legs with no issues at all, ever. Yet another grand success. Thank you, Mork. With the decapitated oversized rabbit in place alongside his creator, we can move on to the pumpkin. When it comes to it, we'll have to pin that on there somehow, but that is a challenge for future me. Current me has the daunting task of using a scalpel without causing severe injury. Do you know what else causes severe injury? My Patreon. What? So briefly, if you'd like to support the channel and gain access to some extra content and good stuff, check out the Patreon. We've got the nest, sneak peeks, voting and soundtracks. Look at them all, these fellows make these videos possible. Thank you guys, love you. So what's the plan when you have hundreds of members and the parade is 15 minutes long? Never mind that, that's an issue for future me, but for now, check it out from the cost of a pot of paint a month. The deadliest weapon in the British arsenal. Brace yourself, pumpkin. Absolutely ravaged it. Now for a rough sketch of the face on our possessed pumpkin. Have to be exceptionally careful here, we really need to capture the intent. Perfecto. And for the horror that is attaching this, I've stolen yet another skewer from the kitchen. Now, getting the angle on this is going to be tricky, but we can't do anything while it's the incorrect length. We're going to have to initiate full force. Lend me your energy, brothers. No, not having it. Again. Obliterated. This model was only slightly hollowed, so there would be plenty of stability and surfaces for the pin to grab inside. This is actually a push-to-fit model, or so I'd like to believe. Excellent. And now for the final stand. Little Nipper, you should have known better. Anyway, now we enter the danger zone. Psst, oi, you're up. Yeah, do not do this at home. We'll take some cotton wool. This will hold the isopropyl alcohol and prevent it evaporating immediately. A carefully measured and controlled amount, whatever that is. Spray it on and insert it into the round orange demon. Then the secret ingredient, some made in China. This is bound to be safe. How much are you supposed to use? Absolutely no idea.
I called it fire from hell. Found a lot in Mark's own spell. Big burny pumpkin with teeth and flame. To roast each goblin, leave no name. Fire is high, pumpkins alive. Meat curse, burn chickens, can't survive. Bones go black, skin drips red. And MORK'S WRATH will see undead. But fire don't stop, it's got me too. MORK'S laughing roar, I'm burning through. The flames twist up me own skin peels. MORK'S hungry curse, don't make no deals.
I think I passed out for a moment there. Like and subscribe, and please leave a comment. Love you. Bye bye.